everybody and welcome to Dynamic GT League's Grit Championship for Race 1 from the DGT Seaside. The Grit Championship is going to involve the Group 1 Dodge Tomahawk VGT running at 492 brake horse minimum weight, racing hard tyres on tyres 1 wear, and the cars will start with a full tank of fuel on ×8 burn. Qualifying will be 10 minutes long, and the race length is going to be set by a number of laps per event, so it's going to be slightly different at each race that we go to. The races that we're going to be going to are as follows. Round 1 is the DGT Seaside, round 2 Suzuka for 22 laps, round 3 30 laps of Yamagiwa 2, round 4 is going to be 22 laps of Magyar GP2, and then 100 laps of the BB Raceway, the first oval ish the DGT will use. 30 laps will then be for round 6 of the DGT Gardens, round 7 22 laps of Sanqual B2, Magyar West will be round 8 with 33 laps, and we'll finish round 9 29 laps of Sardegna A2. Quick look then at the qualifying result, and Mitch stuck in a fantastic lap time to take pole position with a 124.246. Joining him on the front row is going to be Demon R, 124.448, and then once again, like last season, the gaps are minimal. SGP lines up alongside Conrad, Steve F1 lines up against Gary, David Harp lines up alongside Twilight, while Fluffy is going to line up alongside Arpal in 10th place. Tyler, first reserve drive, not seen him for a while, great to see him on track, he's going to start 11th alongside Jimmy in 12th. Then we've got Jason in 13th place and Rich Blues in 14th. We've also got a new feature today, the Pack Life Cam, which the commentators are not going to be able to see at all, so yeah, see what you think about that one, and let us know later on what you think about that as an addition. Anyway, let's hand over to the commentators. And joining me on commentary for the first time in the Grit, we've got Raymond. How are you, Raymond?
I'm very well, how are you?
I'm alright, seeing as everybody loves fucking Raymond.
Yeah, nice to be back.
So here we go then with Mitch on pole position ahead of Demon R and SGP and Conrad. We'll see if he's going to be able to start this championship in a brilliant fashion as the lights go out. And Steve F1 is jump started. The lights hadn't gone out, now they have, and away they go. Whoa, it's the Steve F1's caused a right shocker there.
Yep, everybody's having to go around him because he can't move his car. He's got to be there and wait.
I think he's down in last place now. Unfortunately, Mitch didn't have the best of starts. SGP's stolen the lead. Conrad right behind him, so 3rd and 4th. Up to the Twilight, getting a little bit out of shape there as the drivers now make their way down to a newly named corner. This one coming up has now been named Brokeback Hairpin. We can blame Fluffy for that one, seeing as he broke his back in there. I won't be surprised if we see a few cars looking at those barriers. Into Dick Curve we go, as Mitch now sitting in 2nd place. He's managed to get ahead of Conrad, and yeah, we could be in for a fascinating race here, Ray.
Yes, good to see the Conrad up there in 3rd place. So we'll see a good battle here. I presume David Harp looking for an overtake on Formula Gary down into the hairpin as we come through to the bus stop chicane. Oh, a wee touch of the wall there. Are we going to get everybody through safely? So far, so good.
Front 4, definitely. Interestingly as well, the bus stop, or the chicane of death, is absolutely flat out in these cars, although if you're up the rear wing of another car, you may want to be lifted off a little bit. So here we go then, end of lap 1, SGP leading the way. He won the last championship, and he's trying to get this one off to a cracker as well, as we have a look at Jason, all over the back of Steve F1. So Steve F1, after his shocking start, has managed to gain up to 8th. That's a pretty decent opening lap, considering he messed it up at the start.
Yeah, and not just Steve F1, there's Jimmy Artpal in there trying to give Jason a hard time into turn 2 there, turn 1 into turn 2 as well. Oh, what's happened there? Big wiggle, he's shaking that booty.
Obviously, he wants to show Conrad what he's got in his trunk. Oh, Deep Dog nearly got a little bit sideways on the curve there. Conrod's really close. Going to have a decent run here as they make their way down to the European. A good overtaking opportunity. The problem is these cars are so good on the brakes that you really have to push it hard. He's not going to get that stopped, is he? He's going to go wide. Mitch is going to go for the undercut or switch back. And yeah, there we go. Connor tried it. Didn't work on this occasion. That's going to allow Demon Art to close in as well. I will mention as well, you may see in the bottom right hand corner, the Pack Life Cam, a new feature for this championship. Some crazy sod has got hold of the cameras on a different feed and he's going to be doing some weird stuff down in that corner. What I will say is, don't comment about it yet. Let's see him wait what it does throughout the course of the race, and then you can let us know what you think of it. Okay, what we got then, Ray?
And if you want to double click on it, I'll go bigger.
Oh, is that what she said? Twilight into the pits very early.
We'll get Dave the Harp on the back of Tyler. Sorry, I'm just getting used to these new liveries the drivers have got this season.
Tyler with a very different to what he's been having recently. A bit of a throwback to the classic McLaren style red and white. Up behind Dave the Harp with a very unusual purple for Dave, which was adjusted. Oh, Tyler getting a little bit switchy. I don't know why I said switchy there, but because that's never a word I've used for when someone's had a little bit of a tank slapper. Okay, SGP leading the way. Mitch still ahead of Conrad. Demon R closing in on them. Is he? Maybe. Tyler's still there. Yes, so Tyler, reserve driver last season. Oh, Arpal having a look at the inside of Gary. Jason gives Gary a bit of a touch, but that hasn't helped Gary get through. Arpal gets a little bit twitchy though. That's why. Twitchy. I obviously must have been thinking squiggly and twitchy, and it come out switchy.
Yeah, it looks like Mitch and Conrad are catching up with a wee bit of contact there. Don't think it done much to Mitch there, but it seems like they're catching back up on SGP just a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's going to get interesting as SGP saving some fuel, because there is fuel where, would it be fuel wear is the word
fuel burn. I suppose fuel doesn't wear, does it? It burns. But yeah, I mean, fuel is going to be the deciding factor when it comes to strategy. The tyres, I think that they're racing hard and they should hold up really well. As Jason's having a look at the back of Gary having a look at the back of Arpal. Yeah, so the tyres should hold up really well. Should be able to do probably a full race distance. Gary trying to look at the inside. Oh, he's got it wrong. And he's lost out there into Brokeback. And he'll be doing a few stretches on that one later. Yeah, so the fuel, that's going to be the deciding factor. I don't think you're going to be seeing any sort of, if you fuel save around here, you're probably going to go very, very slow. So probably looking at about 3 stops. The fuel may, Gary's only just got going, may last somewhere around about 10 minutes. And obviously we're on laps, not time. So yeah, 10 minutes, how many laps is that going to be? It's going to be about 8 to 9 laps. So it's going to get very difficult for the drivers out there.
Yeah, we'll be seeing if people actually do a little bit of fuel saving, as we see Steve F1 going up the inside of Tyler.
Nice move. I mean, the other option, Ray, is to do what Twilight did, and that was pit a couple of laps ago, and he can now ignore any fuel saving and just go for a full-on 3-stop race from here as Tyler's trying to fight back on Steve F1. Yeah, and just absolutely gun it and not worry about saving fuel, because he'll get the boost in this initial first stop as we have another look at Mitch, who's now closing in on the back of SGP. Maybe you were right that SGP has realised he's going to have to save a bit of fuel if he wants to stretch this out a bit, because one of the things that's changed recently is that pit stops for tyres only would have normally taken about 6-7 seconds. Now it's going to take about 24 seconds. If you add fuel as well, you're looking about 30 seconds. So the time loss for a pit stop is huge. So for some of these leading guys, they may want to try and go as far as they can, so that when they do pit, they come out in clear trackers. Arpal up the inside of Tyler. Jason tags the back of Arpal. I don't know if Arpal tagged Tyler there, but if he did, it was done by Jason, unfortunately, as he's now got Fluffy all up his gearbox. No, it's not, it's Rich Blues.
That's close.
Nice.
Oh, that was close, Jason. He's testing it.
I And it was Steve F1 on the close. Steve F1's got some pace around here. He's closing in on the back of Dave the Harp. Dave the Harp twitching. Is he going to the pits? Yes, he is. Oh no, Harp! Rich Blues was sideways then. Sorry, no, Harp Power. Well, Harp Power may have been as well. But I was really looking at Rich Blues, unfortunately.
No, Rich Blues, and I think it might have been Jason. I'm not too sure. There wasn't a car involved. I don't know who it was.
I think it is a Rich Bruise. You did say Bruise. Rich Bruise. Oh, Mitch got a little bit sideways there. I'll tell you what, someone else that someone I know got bruised recently. It was my neighbour. He got arrested for blasting out Engelbert Humperdinck songs late at night. He's been arrested for it, got beat up a bit, and he told me, "Police, release me, let me go."
Alright.
Alright, come on!
Ran it on the back of Jason here. Is he gonna... He's gonna have to go around outside. Jason's defending. Is Fluffy gonna make it late on the brakes? Try and push and push? No. Jason's got that.
Fluffy binned it! Yeah, he's binned it!
I thought he was going for a switchback. He switched that back a wee bit too much and hit the wall.
That could have been worse. Another mate of mine got arrested for installing dodgy kitchen worktops. Yeah, it was done for counterfeiting.
Alright. So stop giving this guy jokes.
To be fair, he has Steve F1 into the pits, 8 minutes 50 gone. That's kind of a bit close. Yeah, look how much fuel he's got, 35% fuel. So he could have gone for a few more laps, but pitting now, he's not going to have to worry about fuel for the rest of the race. He ain't going to be saving it, he's going to have to be pushing it. Jimmy, little twitchy, as he got close to the back of Rich Blues there. Rich sported a lovely livery there.
Which? So Jimmy, I thought it was Steve F1 at first, but
no, it's Jimmy searching for Pokemons. Yeah, they're all over your car. But I have been informed by Rich Blues to
know what age he is then.
Well, yeah. Well, I have been informed by Rich Blues to let you know that his livery is the sister livery of Steve F1.
It's a sister livery of Steve F1.
Yeah, but I did hear it was the slutty sister, so yeah, it might have the arse end out a bit. What we got here then, Mitch? Oh, Mitch into the barrier! Oh no, from second place.
Famous wall.
Oh, he'll be kicking himself about that one. I mean, do you want to explain why it's his famous wall?
Because he's the only one that hits it all the time. I don't know, it didn't look like you could get the car turned in time, and or it had a wiggle going in, and
maybe.
And we get Jason on the back of Fluffy. No, is it Fluffy?
It was, yeah, but Fluffy, yeah, he's just headed into the pits. Mitch has gone into the pits as well, I'm not surprised there. He just had that accident, might as well pit and see how you get on now. SGP then leading the way, got a little bit of a gap now to Conrad. So SGP's fastest lap of 24.9 at the moment. Conrad's in the 25s, Demon R's in the 25s. Arpal sitting in 4th place at the moment, so doing well. But then quite a few of the cars behind, so we know that Twilight has pitted already. I'm not sure about Dave the Harp, but Twilight has, so he was the first to pit, which means he's in a very good position at the moment, and Steve F1 is there, and he's just pitted as well a lap ago. So Twilight and Steve F1 at the moment are kind of battling each other, even though they've got 5 cars between them at the moment. No, made that 4, because Steve F1's making a move on Rich. He's going to make a move on Jimmy as well. Or is he making it? He's making a move on his sister Blister, and also the copycat Pokemon.
Yeah, that's going to be weird watching these two go around at the same time. Who's doing?
Yeah, we'll see how many times Steve F1 gets, or Jimmy gets blamed for doing so. Oh, Steve F1's into the wall! Oh! He's done a Mitch, unfortunately. Yeah, it doesn't matter how good you are, you can always hit that ball. Oh dear, oh dear.
Might be the falling of another driver who's just caught him out there with the lack of downforce, and then not the great view to see when you've got a big wide
Oh,
side of it.
SGP's! He's done himself in, broke back. Oh dear, that's allowed Conrad through to take the lead of the race. I was looking as well at the amount of fuel that Arpal had when he pitted. He had 1%. The car behind him pitted as well, and they had 8%. So it is getting very fine on fuel, which means these front three at the moment must be running very, very low on fuel. And considering that it's a 30-lap race, Ray, if you were wanting to do a 2-stop, you need to get to the end of lap 10. But if you can't get to lap 10, you're not doing a 2-stop, you're doing a 3-stop. Oh, who's that that's gone wide? It's Jimmy Tyler trying to make a move. So, but we're looking at the leaders now. Holy cow, this is close.
It was at Demonard looking to make up places. SGP and Conrad. SGP going down inside, getting the apex. He's made the move, but he's heading towards the pits.
Yeah, let's have a look at how much fuel. Oh, SGP, Conrad, sorry, had 0. SGP had 4%, so neither of them was getting another lap in. But Demonard's carried on. That's for a potential game changer, Raymond, because as I was just saying, if your driver can get to the end of lap 10, they may be able to 2-stop it. I don't know if he can actually survive to the end of the lap 10. He might run out of fuel. What we got now then? So Steve F1 down the main straight. Someone's coming out of the pits in front of him. Is it SGP? I think it is. Where's Conrad?
It's SGP.
I know it is, but Conrad was right behind him. He's not there anymore. Where's Conrad?
Where is Conrad?
Oh,
Conrad's down in 11th.
You know what, I'm wondering whether Conrad may have taken tyres as well and given himself a longer pit stop. But that could give him... Oh, Gary, up the side of Jimmy. I think he may have just got that move done. There is Conrad. So, yeah, jumping about a bit on the cameras, but we don't mind that because now we can see. Yeah, so, yeah, I'm wondering whether Conrad may have taken a fresh set of boots, Ray. Now, in all fairness, from what I've been told by the drivers, at this track, you don't need to change them. Oh, Conrad! Oh, no! If he has changed them, he may want to go back. But thinking about it, what I've been told from a few drivers is, when you exit the pits here on fresh tyres, they can be colder than if you keep the same tyres on. So you can actually have less grip if you change the tyres, but you'll have better. Demonard had 2%. Oh, into the barrier. Was that Jimmy? It was Jimmy. I thought it was Steve. I thought it was Jimmy.
Jimmy. Oh, I thought it was Steve F1 as well.
Yeah. Oh, Twilight's going to take the lead of the race here. So him pitting as early as he did. Well, I mentioned that he isn't going to have to worry about fuel as much. He's still going to have another 2 pit stops to do, but he's in a really good position at the moment. Who's that coming out of the pits? I think it may have been Demonard. Yes, it is.
Went in with 2%.
Yeah, on lap 10.
Lap 10, start 11.
Yeah, which would suggest that if he can do the same stint again, he can get another 10 laps and do the 2-stop. Or Conrad having a look at Demonard. So, yeah, Conrad definitely must have taken tyres. Demonard having a look at the inside of Arpal. He's got the inside line there and he's taking the barrier. Oh, he's done himself in, broke back hairpin. Oh, he's going to claim a few. Oh, Conrad dipped a wheel on the grass. Got to be careful, that is still sideways.
Yeah, I thought Conrad had another wee twitch of the rear end there. He's still battling with Arpal. Arpal's keeping his foot in there.
His nose clean and his pants dry.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Now, is he going to have Jimmy over the back of him, Arpal? Yep, that's Jimmy.
Yeah, I don't think Jimmy will go for them all. Arpal's close to the wall there. Dave the arms to the back of this pack as well, as Conrad having a look at attacking Gary into the final corner. Conrad will be feeling like he'll want to get a shift on, because Conrad's going to be sitting there thinking, hang on a minute, how come I'm here and SGP's way up the road?
Arpal spun.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Conrad is making the move then. I'm just wondering as well, you never know, SGP may have done something different with the fuel. He may have not put a full tank in. I got thinking. I mean, I don't know why he would do that, but it could explain why there was a big difference in time. It'd be interesting to find out. Either way, we've got Fluffy at the moment, 6th place. No, he's not! He's bended a brake back! Oh, Fluffy.
A lot of drivers are losing it there. Is it just the way the corner is? Like are we kind of dipping up? Is it, or the curb they're losing it on?
I think it's a couple of things. Demonar making the move on Jimmy. I think Jimmy may be saving a bit of fuel there. So Demonar moves himself up to 8th place. Any advantage, by the way, that Demonar gained from doing the extra lap is pretty much lost after crashing. So yeah, he's kind of screwed himself there. With that corner though, Ray, the breakback corner, it's one of the tightest corners on the track for this car. It's a slow speed, but it's one of those where if you've just got a little bit too much steering angle on, when you put the throttle down, she spins. Twilight into the pits then for his second stop, but we know that he's going to be able to fill up his tank and probably only do one more pit stop. Who's this then? Mitch on Tyler, is it?
Yep, that's Mitch on Tyler into turn 1 here. Mitch got the inside line for turn 1, but if Tyler backed out and let Mitch take the racing line there.
Yep. I mean, to be fair, Tyler, as I said, he was a reserve last season, didn't get a race, unfortunately. He definitely he definitely seems to like these cars, not that much, because he just got chucked it in the gravel at breakback, or broke back.
Yeah, I think he just got late on the brakes and had to go to the left to avoid Mitch.
That he did. So Demonar then makes another position through Tyler's unfortunate error there. Jason now got Jimmy behind him, Arpout not too far away. One of the problems that we're now going to have is that obviously people are going to be pitting thick and fast, and that's just what we call the drivers. Arpal is making the move on Jimmy. I think Jimmy's definitely saving fuel because he's slow on the straights, as Jason giving Arpal a bit of room in the apex there, but he didn't really need to. So yeah, this could get a little bit confusing as drivers are making their pit stops. It's not really going to be until the last sort of 10 minutes that we really kind of have an idea of who's going to be in what position. Towards the end, Jimmy was so quick through that chicane then.
Yeah, and he'll get caught out at Arpal, he's a wee bit slower, but everybody's got different strengths on that bus stop chicane, as we see Jimmy going for the pits.
Yeah, Tyler has also headed into the pit lane as well, so maybe part of his attention on that previous lap when he had his off was focusing on the fuel. So Jason now in 6th place. Oh, I don't know if he was going for the move or he was taking evasive, but it's turned into an overtake.
Yep, that was nice.
It wasn't if you ask Jason. Dave the Harp though, he's now up the rear end of Jason. See how they get on through breakback. No, we won't, because we're going to have a look at Fluffy.
And Rich Blues.
Rich Blues, who's not Blues this championship. Why? I mean, he had a pink car. Oh!
He just held that.
You know his arsehole was talking to him then.
So was Fluffy.
Talking about arseholes, I was reading a story yesterday about this guy's been admitted to hospital with a golf ball lodged up his arse. His wife said it's gone up a fairway.
Alright.
SGP's pitted. Who else? Mitch is pitted.
Steve F1 as well.
Now Steve F1 pitted a lot earlier than SGP. I think SGP did a short stop. Well, no, looking at the time though. No, yeah, looking at the laps, he pitted at the end of lap 9 and he's just pitted at the end of lap 14. Yeah, he did a short stint.
Yeah. Has he got enough fuel to take him to the end? I don't think so.
You know what, he should have 15 laps. Yeah, you can do 7 and 7 or 7 and 8. You should be absolutely fine. As long as, well, let's put it this way. If you've not been able to get 10 laps out of the fuel tank at this track, as long as you pit at the end of lap 20, you can fill up and get to the end. If you're pitting within 2, 3 or 4 laps before that, you ain't getting to the end. You can have another stop to do. SGP trying to make a move on Rich. Rich is fighting it hard though, and that's what we like to see. We don't want to gift people positions.
Nah.
Oh, Fluffy, I thought he went a little wide there.
Just because he's a 2-time champion, you don't give him any benefits. You fight him even harder.
Oh, he's done a big tank slapper there. Oh dear.
He nearly took his sister out.
that I did. We've got some questions about that. Mitch is closing in. Interestingly, Mitch had that crash earlier on, and it's actually not put him in a bad situation right now. Twilight, we saw pitted not long ago. He's now going to inherit 4th place, is it? Yes, it is. Art Pal's ahead of him, so this is really starting to get mixed up. But anyone that's pitting now, if they fill their tank, they've got one more pit stop to do, and they can get to the end. Hopefully.
Yeah, Dave the Hub had 38% going into the pits there. Like, I'd kept going and then had a shorter, less fuel at the end for like more speed.
Well, you'd think that, but considering that the pit stops are now going to cost you 29 seconds, you need to have as many laps as possible to be able to bring that gap in. If you leave it to like 4 or 5 laps, you're not going to gain that. You're not going to gain that amount, I don't think. It's one of the big differences of the pit stops now taking considerably longer, as we see SGP trying to close in on Fluffy. And one thing we've seen from Fluffy over the last couple of championships is he's an absolutely bugger for defending. He's not easy to get past. You might have to wait for him to make an error, but yeah, SGP's looking at his rear wing, and he'll be wanting to go. Ooh, I thought he was in the wall then.
Oh, it was a close one. It looks like we've got Tyler and Mitch fighting in the background there as well.
It's not Tyler, it's formerly Gary. Arpal into the pits, by the way. Yeah, it's formerly Gary. I think it's formerly Gary. Yeah, Arpal into the pits, so he's going to have another pit stop to make. The interesting thing here is as well, so just to kind of explain what SGP was doing, he's done a short stint, and we know that for certain because Conrad has not pitted yet, and they pitted at the same time. SGP trying to go around the outside, he's not going to make that work. He's going to have to be careful now because he's sideways, and Steve F1 is right there, ready to pounce.
Yep, and that's because of his sliding around the corner, kind of put Steve F1 off, and Steve F1's got Mitch trying to go around the outside. Is he going to get it done?
He is.
He has.
Yeah, lovely bit of racing there.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're looking at the leaders then. So yeah, Conrad, he's on a longer stint than SGP was, but really Conrad needs to try and get to the end of lap 29 if he can, or to the end of lap, what? Yeah, not the, hang on, the end of lap 29 would be the start of the last lap. Yeah, it would. So what he needs to do is not pit now, but he's going to have to, because he's heading into the pits. He'd only got one more lap of fuel. Yeah, unfortunately he's pitting now, but he's going to have another stop to do. This is why the strategy is so tricky here. Oh, SGP's just punted Fluffy. How evil. How evil.
Yeah, I think he's kind of let Fluffy back through there without losing any places. He's bunched everybody up.
It really is. Yeah, Fluffy's going defensive as well. SGP's going to the outside. Can he get it done this time? No, he can't. And Mitch comes sliding through. Lovely overtake from Mitch there.
That was great. I think that's one of the best moves seen so far.
Steve F1's now having a look at the inside of SGP, can't quite get it done. Oh, Fluffy, no! Oh, and SGP's wide as well. And you said he was bunching up. There's more cars getting in on this. So Mitch has managed to get past Fluffy straight away because he made that error. SGP has just been stuck behind him for 2 or 3 laps, and here comes Formula Gary and Dave the Harp. Is it? No, it's Conrad in there and Tyler. Oh, this is fantastic stuff.
How are they going to do it down at this airport?
Crash, bang, smash, wallop.
Yeah, giving each other room, 3 wide. Oh, I don't think I want to be 3 wide.
No, to be fair, Conrad just managed to get ahead there. The difficulty as well is something that people. Oh, I thought Tyler was into the barrier there. Something that the driver's going to have to be aware of is that if you've just pitted and you're behind a car that's low on fuel, they're going to be faster than you. Fluffy heading to the pits. Yes, he is. Okay, so what have we got? Demon R leading the way still. Twilight sitting in 2nd place. Mitch, after that lovely overtake, now in 3rd. SGP in 4th. Steve F1 sitting in 5th place. Conrad He's in 6th, but he's got another pit stop to do. But to be fair, Twilight, Mitch, SGP, Steve F1, Conrad, Tyler, Formula Gary have all got another pit stop to do. This is far from settled at the moment.
Is Fluffy going to get to the end and a fuel tank of fuel?
Well, you know what? He's just pitted. No, he's not, unfortunately. No. I don't think there's any way he's going to be getting 11 laps of fuel out. Or no. I mean, to be honest.
Menard got 11 laps.
Well, no, he got 10. Didn't I got 10?
It was 10.
Yeah, but to be honest, no
he could
one.
be crawling over the line.
It could be, but no one has been able to get close to actually doing that 10 laps. This is the first scene of anyone in the practice being able to get the 10 laps. So I don't know what he's figured out around here, but he's making it work. And to be fair, he's put him in even though he had that crash, he's still in a winning situation because yes, he needs to pit, but every car behind him also needs to pit.
Yeah, and what's he going into turn 2 at the minute? So he's got quite a gap there as well.
Yeah, it's probably a good, 10, 11 seconds, something like that maybe. So what have we got here then? Tyler, he's going to have to be careful. He's got a little gaggle of cars as Dave Harp closing in on the back of Gary Harpal, having a look at Jason as they made their way into turns 1 and 2. Lovely single file there though, into the corner. Conrad now on the back of Steve F1. I must admit, if I was in Conrad's situation, I'd do probably one more lap and then pit. Or pit,
splash and dash.
Yeah, pit at the earliest possibility. If you can get 9 laps out of the tank, pit at the start of lap 21 and do the 9 laps. Because at least then he's got as long as he needs. If any of these guys ahead continue on, he'll hopefully be able to gain on them. The problem he might have though is if the cars ahead of him also do exactly the same thing, it might lead Conrad into thinking, well, I'll keep going and do my little top up later on, but he won't have the time. Demon R once again in the pits with 2% of fuel, so he is only just getting that 10th lap. Conrad making the move on Steve F1 up into the final corner, and yeah, a lovely overtake for Connor.
Yep,
Ooh,
beautiful.
Twilight pits
coming in. Yep, Mitch.
Oh,
SGP, they're all
yeah,
in.
they are pretty much all in, and interestingly, SGP went in the pits and Steve F1 with 31% and 28% of fuel. The only thing... Oh
no.
Have they pitted at the wrong time?
I think SGP had short pitted, but he hadn't. I was just about to move down the order of the timing screen.
Well, I'm just thinking though, right? Oh, Tyler got very strong. I'm just thinking though, right? Demon R is the only person that's been able to get 10 laps of fuel out of the car, and he's just pitted. Everybody else has pitted behind him, and they've not managed to get 10 laps out of the car yet.
Oh yeah, because we've just went on to lap 21.
Yeah. That could get a little bit sketchy towards the end. Conrad, so yeah, Conrad might be in a half decent position here. But yeah, if I was Conrad, pit now, fill your tank up. Same if you're Tyler or Jason, Art Powell or Dave the Harp, pit now, fill the tank up, get to the end. Let's see what is Conrad going to do. I've got to say, Conrad has been driving considerably better in this race, and he is heading into the pits. Maybe he can hear us, and Tyler as well.
Jason, Art Powell and Dave the Harp are carrying on.
Yep, so they're feeling like they've got a bit of a race to be had then down into turn 1. Jason leading the way. Art Powell into second place. Dave the Harp in third. Having a look at the inside of Art Powell. He's in going through. Oh, I think Art Powell's taking invasive on that one. And he's squeezed Jason off, unfortunately. And Dave the Harp now gets into the lead of the race. It does look like Art Powell is waiting for Jason. And there is Demon R, by the way. Yeah, I am hearing as well. We may be able to hear Dave the Harp's team radio.
I'm winning. Oh, fuck it, I'm sorry.
It's fucked it now. It's fucked. It's gone off. that's a self-cursing. That is. I don't know, Dave. He's leading the race and he nearly threw it all away. The only thing is, he's now got Demon Art right up his chuff. Yeah, not a battle he really would have wanted to have.
I wouldn't, if he's got another pit stop to do, I wouldn't fight it. I would just, when he can, let Demon Arm fall, get the slipstream and go.
Well, yeah, I'd agree with you. But if he's got another pit stop to do, which I think he has, he may be quicker. So he may still have a chance of pulling away. But yeah, if Demon gets close enough to attack, there's no point defending it or fighting it because he's got another stop to do. Dave can't afford really to lose any time at the moment. SGP though, trying to attack Mitch, got it a little bit wrong. Steve F1's now up his gearbox. As Jason...
It's continued.
Yes, he has. So I do still think he's going to have another pit stop to do, is Dave. But yeah, he has continued on for another lap. Jason pitted though. He had one more lap of fuel, but he's opted to pit now. He should be able to get to the end quite comfortably. As this is a fantastic battle. Twilight's right in on this fight as well.
Yeah, he's not that far back from Steve F1 here. SGP.
My only... Go on.
Sorry, on you go.
I was just going to say, my only concern is about whether Twilight may have picked it too soon. Conrad has joined the back of the pack now as well. I think that's what you was going to say. So Conrad was the last to pit out of this gaggle of cars. I think he may be the only one that is guaranteed to be safe on fuel as long as he filled his tank.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not his tank, but his tomahawk.
Oh my god, it's 7 laps to go. We'll soon find out.
Do that, we will. Steve F1 massively deep into the hairpin, then compromised himself a little bit. Gives SGP a bit of a breather. David Harp still leading the race, by the way. So after his little Twilight clipping the barrier, yeah, after his little venture, he's managed to recover quite nicely. Rich Blues. Dave's into the pits. So he had more fuel. He could have kept going, but at least he's now picked a time to pit. Get to the end. If he thinks about it, he doesn't need to fill his tank though. But
yeah, that's if he thinks about it.
Yeah, and also depending on how nice he's on his fuel, Conrad having a look and making a move on Steve F1 up the inside. Nice move. Steve F1 not fighting that one too hard, but I wouldn't be surprised if Steve F1 is aware that he's got a long stint on his hands here. Demon R now leading the race though. Once again, he's the only person that's been able to only do 2 stops so far. So the question now is going to be, is he going to be able to get to the end? But he's got a big enough gap that he can cruise a little bit. And Art Power's in second place, but he's got to pit again.
Yeah, he's got about 5-second gap. Got Art Power, you've got Fluffy. I don't think Conrad needs to pit again, but we'll soon find out. So if Art Power and Fluffy, Steve F1, I think he might have realised, and maybe might be a wee bit fuel saving the now, just to make sure he gets over the line.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Tyler, I think he may have pitted too early to get to the end. I'm not sure. I'm just looking to see if Demon R is going to be heading into the pits. No hint of heading over to the pit lane. Maybe we'll see. Oh yeah, there we go. Art Power into the pits. 7% of fuel for him. Fluffy into the pits as well. SGP then takes second place.
Yep, so Conrad's doing not bad there. He's up in 3rd place. Steve F1 after his jump start up into 4th place. But the question is, are they going to get to the line? That's a bit we're waiting for.
It definitely is. I mean, one of the things with when we've had fuel in the DGT League before, and it's been in timed races, it's very difficult to work out how much fuel you need for the time that's remaining. And really, when you think about it, laps should be so much easier to calculate. But, as I'm sure you know, Ray, I mean, I've experienced this, you could be driving along and you go, right, okay, I'm on lap 20, I've got 10 laps to go, I've got 10 laps of fuel, cool, I'm sorted, and then you run out of fuel. Hang on, how did that happen? Well, it's because you've got to go 20, 21, and it works out that you calculated it wrong. It's not 10 laps, it's 11 laps. And it's so easily done. I mean, I've been told by Demon R's assistant that's strapped to the back of his inside of his car at the moment, that Demonard keeps counting to himself. Oh no, who was that?
Who was it? Who's gone down the other? I didn't see.
It was Steve F1. Was it Steve F1?
Was it?
Nah. I don't know.
Yeah, it's Steve F1. Unless Steve F1's in fifth. No, he's in
Who's
fifth
in
place.
fourth? Maybe it was Rich. I don't know. I wasn't. To be honest, I wasn't watching the screen when it happened. I was too busy telling them.
Was it Tyler?
No, Tyler's there in sixth behind
No,
Tyler. It
not
looked,
Tyler.
Jimmy.
Who did that? Jimmy. That's buggered me now.
It looked like a bluish car for the glance that I had. Okay, Tyler makes a lovely move on at twilight there as we're heading into the last. See, we're into the last 4 laps of the race, but are we? 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Hang on, that's 5 laps. That's where the confusion comes in with the laps thing. Holy cow, what's this? Steve F1, is it? No, it's Jimmy. It's Jimmy 1, getting a little bit out of shape behind David Hart 1, who's just ahead of Formula Gary F1.
Gary F1.
Oh, Dave going for the move up the inside. Oh, it'd be nice if he can complete it, but I don't know. Gary's going to have the speed around the outside, but then down the inside into the bus stop of doom. And yeah, they managed to get through there quite nicely, just about. As Gary got close and then hit the exit wall. Okay, just having a look at what we've got up at the front as we're watching this battle here. So Demon are heading into turn 1 now. Second place is SGP, just going through the kink. Conrod's right behind him, and then Steve F1 is there as well.
Jimmy's sliding on the curb of the exit of the last corner there.
I think.
But it still keep going.
I think Gary's just slipped into the pits. That's a bit of a surprise. That's a very late pit stop, unfortunately for Gary. If it was Gary that was going in there, Dave was a little bit wobbly there.
Yeah. And as you say, with the fuel, like SRI, he had shocking moments and when he was in the soup.
Yeah, the special 4 Cup, yeah.
Yeah, he had shocking moments just miscalculating things. He should have listened to maths and used his algebra.
Yeah. I just spell it. E equals.
He's a crap, never used that afterwards.
Hey, E equals
side by side.
I'm still going to get E equals MC, not MC, McDonald's Burger King. I still said it wrong. But anyway, clunking barriers, easily done. Just don't smash that wall head on too hard. Okay, so we're only, 3-4 laps from the end of the race now. Interestingly, it'd be easy to look at the track map and go, look how spread out that is. But actually, it isn't spread out at all. We've got this gaggle of cars here that are really going for it. Dave, Jimmy, Fluffy. They're 3 wide down the main straight. Yeah. Jason right behind them. This could get interesting. Oh, I don't know where I'd want to be. Not in the middle of them two. In the middle of Fluffy and Dave. No thanks. Oh, they've all got through. They've all got through. Jason nearly got around the outside. Arpaldo's going to try and sneak past Jason, and he manages to do it. Cheeky, sneaky. Fluffy lost out a little bit there. Arpal, haven't looked at the Fluffy, but it's not going to work. Jim, Arpal.
Nearly lost it there.
Yeah, he's not broke back, he's just sprained it. Demon R being boring, consistent on the lap times. To be honest, we've not seen Demon R race like this for some time. He's gone. SGP, the gap has grown back to SGP. Let's see what of his lap times. He's still in the 25, so still doing decent lap times. Conrad not too far behind him at all. Conrad's going to be pushing. He should be absolutely fine, by the way, for fuel. I think we mentioned that. Steve F1, it looked like he backed off a bit earlier on, perhaps to try and save a bit of fuel. So it'll be interesting to see if he can do anything to keep touch with Conrad. Tyler sitting in 5th place. You know what, Ray? Considering that Tyler hasn't raced for a whole championship, for him to come in, qualify near the back or low down-ish, and be in 5th place at the moment, brilliant.
Yeah, that's quite good. I think Artpal was going for the move as Jason. No, is that a bit of lag?
No, I think you were right. I think it was Arpal going for a move when Jimmy was going for a move, and it ended up hitting Jason, or something like that. I think Mitch has also pitted recently. Yes, he's down in 7th. Oh! Oh dear. Broke back claims another one.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what's this we're looking at there? Steve F1 closing in on Conrad. Interesting. Has Conrad pushed his tyres too much, maybe? But then if he changed his tyres... Well, actually, we don't know if he changed his tyres because SGP did a short stint. So, we don't know if Conrad did put tyres on. But Steve F1 has really closed in on him now. Oh, you know, I wondered if Conrad has realised, hang on a minute, I've got one more lap to go. How much fuel have I got? Because we're on lap 29 at the moment. Demon are crossing the line now to start the last lap of the race. So all of these drivers coming up to the finish line, they need to have at least 1.0 fuel in their car.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Steve F1 did a wee fuel save, a wee lifting coast, and he's managed to make sure he's got enough fuel and just realise that I can push you.
Yeah, definitely. Saying that, Conrad is still right there with his gearbox. So I'm thinking Conrad may only needed to save a tiny little bit, maybe. But this is going to be fascinating. Steve F1 did a 24.6 on the last lap, on the previous lap. So he's definitely turned the wick up. He's pulling away from Conrad a little bit now, closing in on the back of SGP. This could be a very interesting end to the race. SGP is he's plummeting time. He's definitely into fuel saving mode.
Yeah, lap 24, 23, Steve F1 at 126. So he has been saving some. Oh, Steve F1 on the outside of SGP. SGP's suffering here.
Yeah.
He's realised I've not got enough fuel here.
Yeah, he's definitely had to turn the engine down there so as to go through the bus stop. Has he got a problem? He's out of fuel! He's out of fuel! Demon R's going to take the win. First of the championship. Steve F1, he started this lap in 4th. He's finished it in 2nd. Conrad manages to hold on to 3rd. Tyler's now 4th. SGP's nowhere. Tyler's 4th. He is. Twilight 5th. Mitch, Fluffy, Arpal, Jason. There's SGP. Oh, get the violins out. Oh, here comes Rich. Is he going to lose another place? He's going to place another. He has. He's lost another place. Oh.
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. I need to stop. I've got a laughter in my throat.
Oh dear. Well, what an end. I mean, we wondered about the fuel. Oh. I mean, it did look. I mean, you noticed it I don't know, 7 laps from the end. It just looked like Steve F1 was going a bit slow for a bit. And knowing Steve, it did kind of look a bit like, okay, is he saving fuel? If he's saving fuel, then maybe he's realised something. And yeah, I don't know, maybe SGP just burnt too much. Or actually, I said it at the time, didn't I? They pitted it on the same lap that Demon R did, which was 10 laps to go. And they'd not done 10 laps before. They'd only been getting to 8.5, 9. So yeah, maybe there's a miscalculation there, unfortunately, for SGP. And Conrad looked like he definitely looked like Conrad was doing a bit of fuel saving on the penultimate lap there, which allowed Steve F1 to really gain and close in on him. But to be fair, I think Conrad's had a brilliant race, all in all. So yeah, I don't know what else to say about that really. For SGP though, what a mistake of the maker.
Yeah, that could cost him bigly, especially in the championship. You know, way down in 12, especially the way all the other championships have been going. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, if we look at it, Steve F1, what was it? Started 4th, I think it was. Jump started, ended up dead last, and finished 2nd. He's got pace, so it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, Steve F1, he's going to be up there fighting for the chance of winning races. I think Tyler's had a brilliant race today, cracking, absolutely brilliant for him to come in and put in a performance like that. Brilliant. It's great to see him back on the track as well. And for everybody else, I mean, there's some brilliant racing in the pack as well. I mean, the pack cam will have shown some interesting camera angles, maybe even some interesting camera angles of exactly what was on the main screen. But that's what happens when you try recording a bit of footage and you've no idea what the main cameras are on. So yeah, but what I will say is, like, Ray hasn't seen those cameras yet. I'm interested to know what people think about the cameras, because personally with the pack cam thing, the idea was, well, if there was battles up at the front we could still see what was happening further back. But I actually liked the one particular camera angle, which I think just added a little bit of difference. So let us know in the comments what you thought about the pack cam. It was the first time it was done, and we'll see how it evolves in the future, or whether we even do it in the future. I am hoping though to try and keep it going through the course of this championship. So for anybody that may have suggested, oh, why don't you do this, or why don't you do that, or why don't you do this on the race videos, the answer is no, because I'm doing that. Anything else you want to add, Ray?
Nah, cracking race. Like, don't see too many incidents with drivers. Seeing more people like either losing the rear end or hitting Mitch's chicane of doom. But yeah, it was great. Like, I wasn't there on the night of the race, so this is all a blind eye to me.
I thought you were going to say blind date.
No, but a fantastic race.
Yeah,
that was great.
It really was. I mean, one of the things that this car is a really nice car to drive, but also it is a tiny bit tricky in some of the slow corners. And it's, I mean, we've seen today, I mean, who did we see lose control of their car on their own in the broke back hairpin? Let's see.
SGP, Demon R,
SGP, Dave the Heart, Twilight, Art, Fluffy. Yeah, Art Pal.
Rich.
Yeah, well, Rich did. Jason, I can't remember. No, Connor didn't do it there. No. To be fair, I don't think Connor had a single incident or spin or crash or anything like that. So that's one of the reasons why I definitely say well done to Connor, because in the last championship,
your top pants on. Yeah,
well, it's fast as hell, but being that fast comes at a risk, and it's not easy to take a bit off to benefit more in the long run. If he does that this season, he's got chances of winning races because he's fast. I mean, it would appear that he had limited practice, but he had pole position pace leading into the race, which would tend to let people think actually he's been practicing. If he hasn't, holy cow, he's going to be fast. But I also like the fact that the likes of Twilight, who struggled to get going in the Porsche in the last championship, in these cars, it's like someone's lit a firework up his arse.
Yeah. He's told the wife to stay out the room and just let his attention.
Nah, come on. She said if you get in the top 6, I'll flash you my bits. I'm getting into trouble for that. Oh god.
You beat that SRI.
Yeah. Okay, just want to mention the next race. There are a few things we're going to be doing a little differently on the race videos this championship. One is the post-race comments that hopefully have been shown on the screen. Should be on the screen for a little bit longer. Also, I'm going to try and reduce how much talking we do after the race, really, and keep things.
I'll catch you later.
Jesus, we've got to make sure that we cover enough time to cover the post-race comments, though. Which we may have done. But I was going to say, next race, Suzuka.
Oh, that's a nice one.
It is. but it's a completely different animal to the Seaside, and it's one of those tracks where, for many people having driven this car, your instant thought would be, oh, these are Suzuka, yeah, that'll be nice. Well, they are, but you have to go through a little bit of a tricky phase first, because they are so nice. You're going to push everywhere, and chances are you're going to dip a wheel either in the knuckles or the first corner. I mean, you think about it, right? Just to put it into perspective, turn 1 in these cars is flat out. Turn 2 isn't. But if you go into turn 1 flat out, but then brake a touch too late, you're going off at turn 2. Yep. And then the knuckles, you may be alright going through there, but if you push it a touch too hard on the way out, you're going to go off at Dunlop. Or you're going to dip a wheel at the Degner. And then you're going to end off at Degner 2. But not only that, there's the hairpin, and we've seen that these cars are a little tricky in those tight little corners.
Yeah, and then up should be okay up the back straight into the kink. I can't remember the corner name.
The R130.
130, and then you've got to slam on the brakes for the chicane.
Yep.
Oh,
and
that's going to be nice.
It is, and the R130 is easy flat out in these cars. But if you're so close to a car in front of you, yes, you could take it flat out, but you can't see where the corner is. So good luck. But also, not only that, the exit of the final corner, we know how difficult it can be just to drive out of that corner and keep going. And it could be tricky for people trying to get to the pits as well.
So we're putting a bet on how many people light up the rear end and end up in the pits.
Okay, for spinning and ending in the pits, I'll bet for 2. For spinning on the exit of the final corner and binning it, 6. That's what I reckon.
I'll say 3 for the pits. I'll say there'll be more than 6. I'll say 8.
We see. I reckon the Degners. That's going to potentially take more. I can't believe we're sat here going, I bet you that they're going to crash. A bit wrong, but actually it's good fun.
Yeah, but for faith in you won't.
Yeah, there'll be nothing. But yeah. Okay, right, I'm going to say, Ray, thank you very much for joining us on commentary.
No worries, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
It always is a pleasure having you on the commentary, and I just want to say as well, don't forget folks that merch, DGT merch is available on the Streamlabs website. Link is in the description. The series, the Grit series mugs and t-shirts and all that stuff are all available on there, or even if you want something custom, feel free to message us and let us know. I mean, if you're just someone that's been watching our videos and you'd like a cool t-shirt there's something to do with DGT, you know what, send us a message and let us know what kind of thing you might want on your t-shirt, and if we can do it for you, we'll do it for you. So yeah, I will say as well that SGP, last championship champion, was gifted with a mug in celebration of his championship. He hasn't shown anybody yet. He's either because he's broke it or he's just being nice and doesn't want to brag. He's waiting till someone asks him for it.
You seen how big his head gets?
Well, this is the thing. Next time there's an admin's live stream, we'll have to look for where he puts the mug. But yeah, and I got one more announcement I just want to make. It's not a warning. It's more of a message to sort of keep safe out there, folks. Greater Manchester Police are currently hunting a drag queen. They've said that they know he has a wig and a dress.
Okay.
Okay, you know you're gonna laugh at these when you watch the video. You miserable git. I was a good one. A wig and a dress.
Yeah. See, I've read jokes, but they're too dumb, so we'll not go there.
Oh, alright, okay, alright then, what about this one? Right, alright, this one. You'll like this. Right, if you don't like this, you have no soul. Right. A woman I know visited a butcher's to get some tripe, but she was left baffled because she said to the butcher, "I'd like some tripe," and he went off into the back and came back out and handed her a box set of Love Island. No soul. You have no soul, Raymond. You miserable git. You know you want to laugh at that one, don't you? Right, we're done. Let's check out what the confirmed race result and what that's done to the standings. Confirmation then of the race result, and Demon R takes the victory in the maximum 20 points. Steve F1 second place takes 17. Conrad finished in third for 15 points. Tyler, great result for him, finishing in fourth place. And then Twilight, fifth place for him. He's the first to score 12 points for fifth place, now that the points have changed a little bit. Mitch finished in sixth, scores 11 points, however gets a -3 point penalty for an incident. I'm not quite sure we saw on the footage. It wasn't anything too serious, but it was to do with an unsafe return to track. Fluffy Planet finished in 7th place, 10 points for him. Art Pow 8th, Jason 9th, Dave the Heart 10th, Rich Blues 11th, SGP finished in 12th, running out of fuel at the end there. Jimmy finished in 13th place, but does get a -2 point penalty. Again, nothing too major, just an unfortunate incident there. And formerly Gary finished in 14th place, scores 3 points, but actually ends up not being 14th in the standings, at least. Normally I would say, yeah, it's exactly the same as the previous page, but it's not on this occasion. Demon R leading the way for the first time in quite a few championships, and previously when he's led a championship, he's tended to lead it all the way to the end of the season. Steve F1 is second place though, he's going to give it a fight, I'm sure. Conrad in third, Tyler fourth, Twilight fifth, Fluffy Planet sixth, Arpal seventh, Mitch and Jason both tied 8th place on 8 points, Dave the Harp 10th, Rich Blues 11th, SGP 12th, formerly Gary 13th, and Jimmy drops to 14th with his penalty, so he's on 2 points. We then got Hay, SRI and Bunzel, all who were unable to race today. Fantastic race though overall there. Some brilliant results for the likes of Conrad, Tyler, Twilight, Fluffy Planet, and some difficult ends to the race, especially for the likes of SGP. I'm sure he'll come back bouncing next time out at Suzuka, where we're going to be going for 22 laps of that fantastic circuit. It's going to be very interesting to see what the fuel is going to be like there, how that's going to burn, and also what the tyre wear will be like at that track, given that it is a very, very different animal compared to the Seaside. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us for the DGT League Grit Championship for Race 1. And yeah, make sure you come join us for Race 2 at Suzuka. Have a good one, everybody, and we'll see you all again soon.